Hello everyone, welcome back. We are now being completely done with Module 3, Agent Intelligence. Our personal assistant now has a fully functional brain that can be thinking, reasoning, acting, and responding intelligently. Now we will be moving to Module 4, User Interface, where we'll be making our agent accessible and user-friendly for real-world usage. We will be covering labs 13, 14, and 16 together in our main.py file, focusing on CLI interface and user experience implementation. Lab 13 will be covering CLI interface development, where we will be implementing command parsing, interactive modes, and rich text formatting to make our interface beautiful and easy to use. Lab 14 will be handling error handling and UX, where we will be creating user-friendly error messages and graceful failure management, ensuring our users are having a smooth experience even when things go wrong. Lab 16 will be covering final deployment, where we will be setting up production configurations and performance optimization to make our agent ready for real-world use. We will also be covering Lab 15 integration testing in our test underscore code.py file, where we will be implementing end-to-end system validation and real-world scenario testing to ensure everything is working perfectly together. This module 4 is bringing everything together into a polished, user-friendly application that people can be actually using in their daily lives. So let's be getting started with building the final user interface and completing our personal assistant project. All right, let's start by writing our imports. I'm going to need a Syncio because our agent is asynchronous, sys for system operations, and typing for our type hints. Now, here's where it gets fun. I'm importing Colorama for cross-platform colored terminal text and Rich for beautiful terminal formatting. Rich is an amazing library that makes CLI applications look professional. Now I'm importing our core modules that we built in previous videos. Watch what I'm doing here. I'm bringing in our personal assistant agent, and I'm also importing specific tools like calculator tool and web search tool. Then I'm getting our config and logger utilities. Right away, I'm initializing Colorama with auto reset equal to true and creating a rich console object. This console is going to be our gateway to beautiful terminal output. Now let me create our main CLI class. I'm typing class personal assistant CLI, and in the init method, I'm setting up everything we need. First, I'm creating an instance of our personal assistant agent. This is the brain we built in the last video. Then I'm setting up logging, registering our tools, and setting a running flag. Let me write the tool registration method. This is really simple but important. I'm registering our calculator tool and web search tool with the agent. This is where the magic happens. Our agent now has these capabilities available. Now I'm going to write the welcome display method, and this is where Rich really shines. I'm creating a text object and building up a beautiful welcome message with style text. Watch how I'm using different styles: bold blue for the title, bold for section headers, and different colors for different elements. Here's something really cool I'm adding. I'm dynamically listing the available tools by getting them from our agent. This means if we add more tools later, they'll automatically show up in the welcome message. Now I'm creating a help display method. This gives users detailed information about what our assistant can do and what commands are available. I'm using the same rich formatting to make it look professional. Let me write the tools display method. This is really neat. I'm iterating through all the tools in our agent and showing their names and descriptions. This gives users a clear understanding of what capabilities are available. Now, I'm writing the stats display method. This calls our agent's get.conversation.stats method and presents the information in a beautiful format. Users can see how many messages they've sent, what tools are available, and get insights into the conversation state. Now let me write the command handler. This is really important for user experience. I'm checking if the user input starts with a slash and then handling different commands accordingly. Watch how I'm handling quit commands, help, tools, stats, clear, and debug toggle. The function returns true if it handled the command, and false if the input should be processed as a regular message. Now I'm writing the message processing method. This is where we connect to our agent and handle the conversation. I'm using Rich's status spinner to show that the assistant is thinking. This gives great user feedback during API calls. I'm wrapping everything in proper error handling. If the user hits CTRL plus C, I catch the keyboard interrupt and show a nice message. For other errors, I display them clearly, and if debug mode is on, I show the full traceback. Now let me write the main run method. This is the heart of our CLI application. I'm starting by displaying the welcome message, then entering a while loop that continues until the user decides to quit. I'm using Rich's input method with styled text so the prompt looks beautiful. I'm checking if the input is empty and continuing if so. Then I check if it's a command. If not, I process it as a regular message to the agent. I'm handling keyboard interrupt and E of error gracefully. These happen when users hit CTRL plus C or CTRL plus D. Instead of crashing, I show a nice goodbye message. And of course, I have a catch-all exception handler for any unexpected errors with debug mode support for troubleshooting. Finally, let me write the main function that serves as our application entry point. This is where everything comes together. I'm validating the configuration first, then creating our CLI instance and running it. I'm handling configuration errors specifically. If the user doesn't have their API keys set up, I give them helpful instructions on what they need to do. And I'm handling keyboard interrupt at the top level too, plus any other unexpected errors. Finally, the standard Python idiom to run our async main function.
And there we have it.
We've built a complete professional looking command line interface for our personal assistant agent. Let me recap what we've accomplished. We've created a CLI that provides a beautiful user experience with rich formatting, handles commands elegantly, gives users helpful feedback, and gracefully handles errors. The interface is intuitive with helpful commands like help, tools, and stats, and it provides real time feedback when the agent is processing requests. The key features we've implemented are professional terminal formatting with rich, comprehensive command handling, robust error handling, and user feedback, dynamic tool listing, conversation statistics, and debug mode toggling. CLI perfectly complements the personal assistant agent we built in our previous video, giving users a smooth and professional way to interact with all the React pattern capabilities we implemented. In our next video, we will run our agent. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss it. Thanks for coding along with me today.